We're replacing the back mat on this 2007 Yamaha Waverunner. It's going well. I'm not sure why the pad came off so easy. Maybe it's because the garage was 50 degrees. You know, this hull was 50 degrees, so it was cold. And used a heat gun on the pad. We began pulling in the different corners here until we got a corner that was going real good, but we got them all broke loose. Started pulling from the one corner while heating with the heat gun on the top side, being careful not to melt the pad or anything. But got it to a nice warm temperature and just slowly began to peel this back. And incredibly, by the time we got the thing off, it almost looked just like this. I don't know if we just lucked out, temperature of the hull, whatever, but just had to go over it with some Goo Gone. Cleaned up real nice, real easy. They recommend soap and water cleanup after the Goo Gone. We're going to then hit it with some isopropyl alcohol and remount it. So the reason why we pulled this pad is we're replacing the bumpers. I had put all new plastic on this machine. I was able to get it a few years back, and all the plastic was dead on it. And we're putting the new plastic on it, really breathing some new life into it. But this traction pad folded underneath the bumper. So had to get that off, put the new one on, the new pad on, and then we'll be able to remount with the rivets the new gray bumpers. But to get the pad off too, you got the visibility spout here that's kind of self-explanatory. From underneath there's a hose clamp on the hose, clamps onto the bottom here. This nut goes underneath the hull, so just the little black spout is up on top. Watch it because it is directional. So you have the spout, the angle of the spout facing the machine. So it would kind of look like this installed. So you have kind of the hole for the visibility spout kind of favoring the back of the machine. So putting it back together, self-explanatory. You drop it in, nut from below, tighten it up, hose clamp and hose go on the actual spout here, and you'd be ready to go. So we're going to mount the new pad. The pad lines up, I think, pretty easy because there's actually some areas in the hull here that are raised that give you a little area to line up against. Also, the ghost of the old pad is there. So that's going to be pretty easy to line up. So we'll get this all cleaned up and get the new pad stuck on there. It's got an adhesive back. Just peel the protective cover off the back, stick it on. I'm going to use 2 people to kind of help me keep it aligned where we want it to go and slowly lay it down and get it to stick to the hull. The pad is on. So worked out well. I had another person help me. The backing paper, we only peeled about halfway down, and we started up at this end. One person on each end kind of lining up this corner with that kind of little raised piece of the hull there, which is, I'm assuming, a guide for this. Be careful when you lay this down, and you know, it should match kind of where it used to be. It's very close. You can see it's slightly off, maybe 1/8 to 3/16 there. And on the edge here, we're maybe off, maybe 1/8. But don't freak out if this hole isn't perfectly centered. I mean, if we had moved it over that way a little bit, you know, we had that 1/8 inch, this would have been greatly improved. You know, this might have been like right about here, but it still works fine. You drop the visibility spout in, and once it's fastened from underneath, you know, with the nut, it's going to look great. So next, then we'll be mounting our bumpers here, and those are going to go on. And you can see why we had to remove the old pad, put a new one on, because these overlap. I mean, it would have been kind of hack to cut it off or something and bring the pad down, but we were replacing these anyway, so perfect time to also replace that traction pad. Who knows if these are still available from the factory? I got this maybe like 4 years ago, all the pads for the whole machine, but they do make aftermarket ones. So keep it in mind, you know, if you're going to replace your traction pads, keep an eye on these areas where they overlap to plastic and things like that.